Hello and welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. How's it going, everybody? Well, another day in sober, another day in the world of positivity and spirituality. So it's great, man. Life is good. Before we get started with the video podcast today, please, a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. So if you would, a moment of silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty, well, let's get started. Man, how's it going, everybody? I guess it's going pretty good. I was trying to figure out what the topic was going to be today. I didn't have anything really, the day for me today was pretty busy. So when my days kind of got a lot of things going on. I had a few appointments to keep. I had 3 appointments that I had to do today. So I was up and down from here to the VA hospital, and it was I got to keep up with my with my schedule through the VA because they got a lot of programs that I'm involved in, and they help me with my recovery, and so it's one of the things that part of my recovery is that I'm engaging in these programs that are out there that the VA has to offer for veterans who are dealing with homelessness, who are dealing with substance abuse, who are dealing, with PTSDs, those sort of things. And so I go because they help me. I go because they're therapeutic, and I learn a lot. You know what I mean? I really do. I learn a lot, and there's things that I would not have thought ever that I would be doing. Like today was my last appointment today was my music therapy, and man, if I would have, somebody would have told me that I would have been doing music therapy to better my life and stuff like that, I would have thought they were crazy. You know what I mean? But it's things like that believe it or not, they help. You know what I mean? They really do. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful, man. And, so what I wanted to, I guess, talk about a little bit today is just that. The living life on life terms, and the just reflecting on that. You know what I mean? Because being an addict, you live your life a certain way. For me, when I was in the world of addiction, living in my life in that realm was just a one-way street, man. You know what I mean? Everything revolved around picking up and using, and there was nothing positive ever that was going through my life and through my mind when I was there. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful that I'm able to be sitting here doing a video podcast on and talking about those types of things. One of the things that I'm really grateful for is the fact that I'm able to be there for my daughters, and my daughters are older. They're adults, and some of them have children, and so one of my daughters lives with me. We live together, my daughter and I, and she is she's my youngest daughter, and she's not so young. She's 22, but to me she's still my baby, right? And I'm just grateful that I'm able to be there for her in times when she needs me. And, today we talked a little bit about some issues that she was having in her life, through her job and that sort of thing. And, I'm glad that I was able to comfort her and show her a little bit of direction, give her my advice, and at the end of our, 20, 30-minute conversation over the phone, she was good. You know what I mean? She was laughing. She was able to, regain her composure, and she, got done with her shift and took and was going to her church group and that she's involved in with the things that she's going through, and so I'm just really grateful that. I noticed that about what happened in my day. I like to reflect on the day as I go through it, and kind of pinpoint and write down things that I noticed or otherwise wouldn't have had I been still in the addiction. And today that was one of them. You know what I mean? And because had I been still out in the streets, homeless and using and that sort of thing, she would have called, if I would have saw a call from her, maybe I wouldn't have answered it. Or maybe she wouldn't have called me, you know what I mean? Because she knows where I was at and what I was doing. And so maybe she would have not called me. But since she knows that, I'm in recovery, she knows that I'm going through all these different things that I'm going through in my recovery journey, and so she was able to pick up the phone and reach out and say, "Hey, Dad, I need help." And I'm just grateful that that I'm sober and that I'm healthy and that I'm here in the here and now and able to help her with whatever it is that she needs help with. And because when I relapsed after a good stint of sobriety and went back into the addiction, man, that was 5 years of using, and that's 5 years that I can't give back to any of my daughters. You know what I mean? Those are 5 years that I was absent, and I don't know if I would have been any help to them, or if I was any help to them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just glad that I'm here in the here and now, and living life on life's terms. And when I say that, I believe that living life on life's terms is a quote to say that you're living life. Well, for me personally, it's living life on my higher power's terms, and for me, that's God. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian, and those are my beliefs. And do I take practices and little bits of other religions and stuff like that? I do, especially the Hindu and the Buddhism. I do a lot of meditation, and I take their practices and I use them. But it's to me, it's living life on God's terms, and whatever God has in store for me, whatever He puts in my path, then I pray and meditate about it every morning, that I'm able to see and pick those things up. Because I know that when I was in the addiction, I was blinded to a lot of things, man. And sometimes I didn't want to see them. You know what I mean? I wanted to live in the misery, if you will. Because I felt that, I felt in my addiction that I had let people down, that I had I felt guilty about stuff, and I felt if I beat myself up, using was part of that. You know what I mean? Using was part of me just getting, not caring about myself. And I'm just glad and grateful that I'm able to be here today in the here and now, and being sober and being clear-headed and know where I'm going in my life and what I want out of life, and being able to be of service to somebody else. That's one of the most important things to me, is being able to be of service to someone else. And it starts with my kids. You know what I mean? And then I move on from that, and I want to be able to help as many people as I can to share my stories and to share my experiences of when I was the addiction, and when I was in rehab centers, and when I was going through a transition of going from negative to positive. You know what I mean? And just going from a life in in the darkness and being homeless to being to where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Things are moving along, and when you live your life like that, things start just coming. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm grateful because I'm helping out my kids. I'm being there for them. I'm able to, hang out with my grandkids and take care of them whenever I need to, and be a teacher, be a person of wisdom, a person, an example. You know what I mean? So that's why I go to all these therapy groups and peer support groups, and attend as much AA and NA meetings as I can, and engage myself in 12-step programs and just different types of things like that. I mean, I'm even enrolled in I'm starting a new career, if you would. I enroll myself at college and to get a degree in cybersecurity and IT. So I already got 2 degrees. You know what I mean? I have an associate's degree in computer drafting. I got a bachelor's degree in project management, and now I'm going for another degree just because it's something that interests me, and it's something that's going to be positive. You know what I mean? It's a positive thing that I'm doing in my life, and it's just another avenue that I can get out there and do something new, and get engaged with other people. You know what I mean? And share, be able to share my story in a different way, and have more stories to share with my audience, and so that they can see that being an addict, being homeless, and being someone who's depressed and going through PTSDs, and if you've gone through childhood traumatic experiences, all of those types of things, that it's not the end of the world, man, that your life can still move forward in a positive direction. And I'm living proof of that. And I just, feel that if I share my story, it may encourage somebody else. You know what I mean? Because when you're in the addiction, man, you just think that there's no way out, and how's anybody going to help you? You know what I mean? And but that's just the thing, is that helping out addicts, help other addicts get out of the addiction, and that's one of the things that the book of Narcotics Anonymous tells you. You know, and that's another book. I told you guys that I do a lot of reading, and that's another book that I read on the constant. You know what I mean? Even if I've already read it a few times, I still go back to it. You know what I mean? And this is the book right here. It's the NA book right here, and that's the Narcotics Anonymous book. And that's just one of the books that I read. And I read it just like I read the Bible, and I read things about Buddha. I read things about the Islamic religion. I just do a lot of reading about different people, and how to be honest with you, we're all the same. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Chinese. It doesn't matter. We all have similarities. And we all believe in a God. You know what I mean? And we all believe that it comes from being evolved into a spiritual journey that's positive. All starts from how you feel and how you present that energy to other people. You know what I mean? And it's all a positive thing. You know what I mean? Because it's said that scientifically proven that there's energy fields that are generated from the heart that can be felt 6 feet away. Can you imagine? Have you ever heard people say, "Man, you just got this aura about you"? You know what I mean? I can feel the energy, and that's what that means, is that you actually can radiate positive energy towards people that are around you, and it goes all the same thing too, though, with the negativity. If you're dark and negative and in this just bad realm, you're going to shed off that type of energy. You know what I mean? And you're going to attract that kind of energy too. You know what I mean? Remember that, because the last thing you want to do is keep attracting that negative and dark realm into your life. So when you change your positive mentality and move that forward and just keeping those types of things in your life, and that's what I'm doing in my life today, is just keeping a bunch of positive actions that I do, positive things that I read, positive things that I listen to, positive, you know, just everything that I'm involved in my life today is all positive. There's no negativity that I allow myself to dwell into, because as soon as I do that, that leaves a crutch open. That leaves a crutch for you to move back into your old self, and that's what you don't want to do. And you know, it's basically finding yourself as this new person. You know what I mean? It's this whole new identity that you're bringing into existence. And you know, for me, you know, I've always been a person that, you know, has been a guy that gives advice, who can read people, who has this. I've always been a good. I can sense energies, whether they're bad or good, and that sort of thing. I've been able to do this since I was a kid, and so I know that I have this energy level that is there for the good, if you will. But because I'm an addict and I have this addict mentality, it's very easy for me to veer off and stay bound down to something that's negative. And so I really have to be careful with how I live my life, because if I live my life in any sort of, you know, bad vibe or negative thing that I know that's not good, then I'm not living my life right. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I know that eventually I'll go back to my old ways, and that's what I want to avoid is to not live my life in that addictive state, in that depressed state, in that mentality where you just don't want to live and that sort of thing. So it's very imperative for myself personally to have a bunch of positive things around me, positive people, positive actions, positive stuff that I involve myself in on the daily. So and doing this podcast is one of the things that I really enjoy. You know what I mean? I really enjoy getting figuring out what I'm going to talk about, or just sharing stories. You know what I mean? And hopefully that it helps somebody. So yeah, but you know, I guess that was probably I just kind of thought about that and figured those type of that I wanted to just share that with somebody, and we'll share with you guys obviously today, and hopefully that was encouraging for somebody. And but at this time, if you would please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. You know, I can only do the service work and helping other people by getting the message out through this video podcast, and that's one of the ways that I do my service work, is to do it like this. And you know, so the more you guys share my channel, the more people that we can reach and help out. And just know that when you do subscribe to my channel, all you got to do is tap that subscribe button. And remember, it doesn't cost you a thing, but just know that when you do tap that subscribe button, it's going to be helping out another veteran like myself, another person that was homeless like I have been, another person that's dealing with addiction like I have, another person dealing with PTSDs, childhood traumatic experiences, depression, suicidal thoughts like I have been through all those things. And I'm just living proof that life can be better and life can, you know, change for you. So if you would, please share my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. And I guess until the next time on When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.